abundance for me, which you might be thinking is the Porsche, is actually me choosing what I do 9 to 5, or the people I'm around, or how I spend my money, or having ease flow in my life. Getting really clear on why you want something, because if you're wanting something because your ego wants it, you're never going to get it.
Today, I'm joined by someone whose story is raw, powerful, and deeply inspiring, Zoe Marshall. You may know her as a media personality, podcast host, mother, and someone who speaks with incredible honesty about life, love, and healing. But behind her public voice is a rich personal story, one that includes navigating loss, resilience, self-discovery, and the quiet magic of manifestation. In this episode, we go deeper into her upbringing, the spiritual tools that found her at just the right moment, and how manifestation has helped her rewrite not just her mindset, but her entire life. Welcome to Self-Dom.
Thank you for having me. I was just like, oh, it's so nice I could have a nap.
No, well, I talked to you.
Yeah, about me. That was
Beautiful.
so nice.
Well, you just come over and you've brought my two favorite things. A novel. She's written a book, Arise, Manifest the Life You Deserve. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you. It's
Wow.
a big deal.
This is huge.
It's like I was very ignorant to what that would take. I thought that would be a bit of fun. It was a little bit of fun and a lot of nervous breakdowns. I think when you're talking about personal traumas and you know that people that are in your life may read them, it's scary to think that they're going to know parts of you that you have. They might know at surface level, but you go into such explicit detail that you know you're going to hurt them in kind of like vicariously through reading it again. So yeah, it was a lot. And then just to get all the data and the science and facts and psychology to back it all up is the coolest part.
so epic.
Yeah.
She also brought me a local love, I just need to say.
Thank you,
I'm
Emeka.
I'm really excited to have this and read my book. Like, that is self-care. Like,
And
on
a
that
tea
couch
or your
right
matcha,
there.
whatever you like,
little
the
tea.
cacao.
Well, now it's late, so I have a little tea.
Little tea.
That's perfection. Thank you, Zoe.
You're welcome.
So I want to dive straight into this book because you say it was a bigger journey. How long did it take to actually write a book?
This is the thing. You have a deadline from your publisher. So I think it could have taken me 4 years.
Oh.
I had 9 months.
Like a baby.
We had to get onto it. And it's hard to actually have real life babies and write a book because the real life babies require a lot of energy. And then you're like, no one talk to me. I need to go into a dark room and pour my heart out and have a nervous breakdown and then turn the lights on and come back and be a mother. So it's a very strange experience.
Yeah, and so you deep dive into all your life and your learnings. What was Zoe like as a child? What was your upbringing like? Was manifesting something that was always there?
No, I mean, my mum, so it was just, I was brought up by a single mum. My dad, I'd see him every other weekend, and I'm an only child. So we had incredible codependency, which I loved. I wouldn't have had it any other way, but it didn't always help me. You know, I didn't have many life skills. When she passed away, I was like, oh my God, how do I pay a bill or how do I do anything? It was very overwhelming. So as beautiful and intense as it was also a bit damaging long term. But she was always spiritual. I mean, on Sunday mornings, you know, times were really tough. We didn't have a lot of money, but on the Sunday morning, if we could splurge like on a bagel, and she would squeeze freshly squeezed juice and she'd read our horoscopes. And so I grew up kind of knowing about that. She had my birth chart done when I was born.
Okay, so she was a little woo-woo.
She was a little woo-woo for sure. And I just thought that was normal and all the mums were like that. And when she got sick, which happened very quickly, the turnaround was really quick.
How long ago, if I can ask?
Isn't it funny with trauma? And this is going to be so interesting to talk to you in a few years about this time in your life later, because so much is disjointed because of coping. I believe I was 20, so she would have been 52, and she passed within 18 months. And And the very first time I kind of deep dived into spirituality that was a Freudian slip, wasn't it? Was when she showed me The Secret. I don't even think you would have been born then.
No, but I've heard you speaking about this book.
Yes, I mean, it was a movement. Back then, there was no smartphones. We had like DVD players, and you could only get this thing from someone that had the DVD. It was the best marketing ever. And I sat down and I watched this movie, and it was all about the law of attraction, manifestation, spirituality, quantum physics. And I just went at the end like, well, what was the secret? I watched the whole film. What was it? And she died a month later. And I remember there was this scene in that movie where there was someone that had cancer, and they were going to heal their cancer and survive by positive affirmation and watching funny movies and removing stress and all of the other things. And I think maybe that's how she got her hands on that book, on the DVD. But then I was like so mad as well when she died, because like we did all the things, and why didn't she live and why does some others? So growing up with that as kind of the first framework of that philosophy, also there was this negative element of like, well, bad things happen to people. Do you manifest the bad things, or did you not manifest hard enough if that person got sick or that person died or that person broke up with you or you lost your job, and I really had to like understand that and work through all of that, because I felt like some of the older teachers misguided us.
Yeah, it actually does make sense. Like, obviously I've gone through this less than 4 months ago now, but it is so easy to fall into the why. And obviously it's still very raw for me, but there's a path that you're on and you have to trust it. I feel like when people say, how are you getting through it? The only thing that gets me through it is having a spiritual practice. Like, that is the only thing. If you don't believe and their energy is still around and things weren't meant to be as they are, you'll be stuck in the past.
It's very painful. And it's going to be such an interesting conversation when we talk, because I was 10 years younger than you, right? And when my mum died, and it's just this, it's so big. It's so monumental that I feel like our beautiful brains do whatever they need to do to survive it, And then I don't know if you had this moment, but like I remember the day she passed, walking out of the hospital and sitting kind of on the side of the gutter and being so shocked that the traffic lights were changing and birds were singing and people were eating a sandwich and the most catastrophic thing is ever, my whole life has ended.
Yeah.
And people still, that was so jarring for me.
No, I remember.
So jarring.
Yeah, I still think that.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing for me is, even on a positive note, is you have this appreciation or understanding that life isn't easy, and the things that you complain about, you got to be more selective, because
it's such a reframe, isn't it?
Yeah, it gives you a big perspective on the bigger picture and the grand scheme of life.
And like deep, deep gratitude for what you had and for what you have.
Yeah.
You're not the people that I resonate with the most are the ones that have suffered the most, the ones that have struggled, the ones that it's been rough, it's been gritty. They've got so much, this sounds awful, doesn't it? But it feels like they've got more to say. There's more for me to connect with than
there's more learnings.
The human experience. Yeah, exactly.
I agree with that.
And I think we are constantly running from struggle. We're running from pain, from discomfort, where that is what life is. It's just this whole kind of experiment of highs and lows, and we're always trying to like rush to the next dopamine hit or rush to the next comfortable part. It's like, if you can make peace with the discomfort in just a small way, life is just so much more beautiful, right?
Yeah, I agree. So let's go back. You've watched The Source.
Watch The Secret.
Oh, sorry. I'm reading The Source by Dr. Tara Swart, which is
I love that book. I love her.
Yeah, I love her.
I love her. Which she's quoted in the book, actually.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, she's amazing.
So you watched this film. This was your first moment into manifesting, but when you were watching it, you didn't even know
what it was.
What it was.
And then my mum dies and it's horrible. And then I have a really huge betrayal within my family through the kind of the decline of her passing and everything happening. And then I find myself in this truly, truly horrific domestic violent relationship, you know, being raped and being choked and being dragged across the, you know, floor by my hair and not.
Did anyone know?
No. And I was the perfect person. Like I was in such I was a broken person that I was the perfect person for him to manipulate, you know? So at that point, after watching The Secret, it was just survival. The Secret wasn't even crossing my mind. I was like, how did I get here? What the hell is happening to my life? I was so happy in my little cocoon with her, and it's been ripped out from me, and everything is the worst version that it could be. Everyone is showing me like humans are scary. I'm all alone. I'm isolated. I'd rather die. I don't want to be here anymore. And how does one continue that, especially at such a young age? I'm like early 20s. I didn't have, like I said at the beginning, I didn't have a strong foundation of how to adult. So it was rough. It was really rough, and it was rough for years and years. And then I just got to the point where I was like, he's going to kill me, or I will kill him.
Wow.
And if I somehow don't, and I don't, you know, the statistics are right. It's when you're leaving is the most dangerous part of the situation. And that was a strategy. It took 8 months to leave. That was such a...
And you didn't have your mom, and you said your family was broken, and
my
there's no like
partner
safety,
had
you know?
stopped me seeing friends. I was so isolated. I had no money. I had no access to funds. I hadn't worked for years, you know, because I wasn't allowed to because of the control. It was like the worst situation of all the situations. I didn't know where to begin. And I think that's why I had to write this book. Was manifestation isn't just for the pretty privileged people, which feels really weird saying that because I know I'm pretty and I'm privileged right now, right?
Yeah.
But there was a time there was no privilege and there was no option, and it was a rock bottom, and my mental health was horrible, and my resources were empty, and I had access to nothing, and I had no CV. It was like, well, what about those people? What about the people that are at rock bottom? What about the people that don't even know where to begin? They can't even get to manifestation so far away. They just want to get to neutral. They just want to feel safe. And so it was such a driving force for me to write this book, that there is a new way to manifest. And that's why I call it co-creation, because it is radical responsibility, working with source, right? A partnership, not being spoilt and, you know, crying because you didn't get what you wanted, and you're stomping your feet because the boy didn't call, or you wanted to get this car. Like, it's not this kind of vacuous energy. It's like, how do I be the best version of myself? How do I be of service to the community? How do I reach and connect with people so they feel a deeper sense of self, so they understand their truth? So that's where it was born.
So, yeah, I'm just thinking, you're at your rock bottom, you leave this toxic relationship. What's next for you?
It's a big one, right? It's like, how do you go from this to that? I was in so much pain from the loss of my mum, from the family stuff, from the partner, that I was seeking desperately how to get out of the pain. So I knew there was therapies, and I knew there was alternate ways, and there was Western ways, and I was trying everything. I even went to start to study to become a therapist, which a lot of therapists do.
Yeah.
And I ended up, this was one of my first co-creations or manifestations, is seeing one of my mum's old friends who had done this work, a very cathartic, very radical retreat, 7 days. And she told me about it. It was very expensive, especially for me at that point.
Yeah, of course.
And my godmother loaned me some money, and I went there. And it was there that I was able to express my rage and my grief in a space that felt held. I could be the worst, ugliest, shadowiest version and let everything out so I could come through it. And I'd not had that ability. And I don't feel like many of us in Western culture have the space to truly rage and grieve and cry. And I mean, you know, guttural crying is not pretty. It's not something that we even get to see. Yeah. It's so private, and then we have to put ourselves back together and then go back into the world. So this retreat was such a life-changing experience. And then from there, I was able to kind of get back home. I moved in with my dad for a little while, which was so strange. And I kind of just made a list of how, very practically, okay, I need money. I don't have any resources. I'd finished drama school. I'd never gotten an agent because at that point things had turned. I can nanny, I can babysit. All I need is a couple of families to trust me, and then I'll have a CV, and then others will trust me. And I just started babysitting. Then I got a commercial agent and I started doing TVCs. And then everything started to develop. But it was a real, this ability to learn what you like again after you've been so deteriorated with your self-esteem and your mind. Like, I didn't know if I liked chocolate or strawberry. I didn't know what I was or could wear. I didn't know what music. I didn't know. Do you know, everything had gone. So learning slowly to make money and to be able to spend my money and to get dressed in what I want and to go to a nightclub. Like, all of it was like building myself back.
Yeah.
So it was definitely a process, but I was hungry. That's the thing, is even when I didn't want to live anymore, there was this flicker inside of me, like this tiny little flame that wouldn't go out. And that was the propeller that just kept everything going, you know? And I knew that life was I didn't know how, but I knew it was going to get really, really, really beautiful, but I didn't know how.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think with these sort of things, it is a bit of a snowball effect because it comes into play. And I like the idea that you do the work when you manifest. There's no like, I want to live in this beautiful house, but you're not doing the steps to get there.
Yes.
And I think that's why manifestation gets a bit of a bad rap.
Absolutely. I agree. Or the eye rolls. It's like the aligned action is so vitally important that you will get nothing without that. You know, you have to be doing the things to get there.
Yeah.
Like I think everyone has this weird idea that you're going to be plucked out of obscurity and saved or be made a billionaire. Like someone's just going to just do that. And even say you got married to someone that was a billionaire. What's the cost of that, right? Like billionaires are very busy people generally. Like what's the relationship going to look like for you? Are you going to be alone a lot? Is that all of the things that come with all the things you think you want? So breaking those things down into your core values and what you actually think you want versus what you think society wants for you.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's like getting really clear about what success means, what richness means, what connection means, what love means to you. Very different for what that will mean to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's some of the first things that you allowed to come into your life?
Do you know what's funny? I met my now husband quite soon after. And
after the breakup?
Well, after all of the deterioration, like everything, the kind of explosion of awfulness. And it wasn't the right time, but it was. So his dad was dying of pancreatic cancer. And my mum had just died a few years before. So it had felt like, and I know I'm sure you can relate to this and lots of your listeners can, I wanted to save him through the grief. I wanted to hold him. I wanted to make it not as bad as it was for me. And we're talking about a very young, famous football player, which is a very interesting dynamic to bring into this because first of all, he lied about being a famous football player. So I kind of got
What did
tricked.
he say?
He said that he was a publisher that played a bit of soccer on the side. Publisher.
How'd you meet
random. The old school way.
Oh, yeah.
At the nightclub. Piano room, King's Cross. It was
Shout out.
It was hot spot, Carl Sanderlands. And I knew the moment I met him, he was with this group of like 40-plus-year-old men and he was, early 20s. It was so strange. Being silly, dancing, not with like a footy crowd. And I just knew by connecting with him immediately, I was like, you have never been loved. I'm going to love you. Like, I am going to love you. It was like almost like a dare. And we went through some really tricky times. I mean, having him lose his dad so early into our relationship, he didn't know how to manage his grief. He actually ghosted me twice. I know. And I still love that guy. It's crazy. I've got some attachment anxiety around, those things. So of course.
Sure, it's also interesting because as I was saying, I had Margarita on and she's like a relationship coach before, and she was very like, if they ghost you, it's like they don't want to talk to you. It's like if they wanted to, they would. And it's quite interesting that you guys ended up together.
He ghosted me because my love was terrifying. It was because he was going through so much pain.
What was your love language?
No,
choice?
Not like that. I was just so safe. He'd never been safe, right? Like the way he was raised, his work, everything is tumultuous. And so here comes this girl that's like, I'll have all of you. It doesn't matter what it looks like. And that's weird because something, being that person from such a young age, everyone wants something from you. And I didn't want anything. I just wanted to love him. And we didn't use those words back then in the early days. I was acting all cool and sexy.
Yeah.
But I was able to acknowledge his pain was creating him being avoidant. He couldn't handle me in the space when he needed to process whatever it was for him to process. And so there was something in it. It hurt me so bad. We broke up the second time for about 5 months and I was in like incredible amounts of pain from that breakup. I actually don't think he knows how painful it was for me. And I did a lot of introspection and a lot of work. And I vowed off dating. I was like, I do that to distract myself, the attention and all the things. I'm just going to feel it. Anyway, we bump into each other. Of course we do. Divine timing.
Yeah.
And I'm about to go to LA to shoot this campaign for American Honey Bourbon. Do you remember that? Do you know what it is? And it was a calendar, it's so lol, where we were all like dressed like Daisy Duke. Like,
okay.
Yeah, like that was a vibe, like
sexy.
Western.
Yeah.
And I'm about to fly out and I bump into him at this nightclub and he was like, 5 months, we have not spoken. He's like, I made a mistake. I love you. In the first time he's ever said it in the club. My family love you. I can't believe I let that happen. We need to be together. And I'm like, when you're just about to get your swag back.
Yeah.
About to go to LA, about to go do the shoot, doing all of the things. And he just comes back into my life. And yeah, I just said, look, if we're going to do this, we need to see a therapist together. And we've seen Cherie for the past 16 years. Not often anymore, but whenever there's a big life change or transition, we see her. She taught us how to communicate. She taught us our attachment styles. She's been brilliant. And he is the most exquisite human being I've ever met in my whole life. Like I'm obsessed. Everyone's obsessed with him when they meet him, but he's amazing.
I know, but it's also so beautiful that you guys have that open communication now, because maybe if you had that break, you wouldn't have. You would have kept trying to be that perfect girl.
Everything happened exactly how it was supposed to be.
So you feel like you manifested it?
I manifested him for sure. I co-created him, I should say.
So when you say, like, what were the steps?
I wasn't at that point thinking I'm going to co-create this beautiful man. I remember in year 9, I made a list of the perfect man for me.
Yeah.
And it was like tall, dark, funny, could sing, like very giving genuine vibes, right?
Yeah.
And got rid of that list. And then years later, after he and I were married, I found the list and it was him. He was the list.
Wow.
So it was like calling in the thing and then surrendering and letting it go. I felt like in the friend group, I was never going to get married or have kids. I was just going to be the fabulous one forever traveling the world doing the career thing. I was the one that got married first. I never wanted kids. Now I've got 2. Like it's just been a very humbling journey to think what I thought was my plan was not the plan for me. Very let go, let God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now in your life, if there's something you really want to receive,
yes,
what does it look like?
So there's many different, like if you're talking about like a practice, if we're going to summarize this book in like 10 seconds.
Because I feel like a lot of listeners here would be like, I just don't even know where to start.
Yeah.
I'm stuck. Like what is beginners?
So this would be what I get asked the most commonly. The first thing you need to check is that you're at neutral. So you're not at that rock bottom, right? That
your basic, you got to get up a bit.
Your basic needs are met. Mm-hmm. You feel safe, where you're living is safe, your environment is safe. You're being fed, you've got somewhere to sleep, those things are done. And then you need to really truly think into what you want, but why do you want it? So if you're wanting, for example, a Porsche and you just want to be driving around looking like a stud muffin to pick up the kids, pick up the chicks. Can you hear the mother is on board?
Yeah.
And you're like, it's Freudian again, because I did have a Porsche to pick up the kids. That's why I got rid of it.
Yeah.
So you're doing that from a place of ego versus abundance for me, which you might be thinking is the Porsche, is actually me choosing what I do 9 to 5 or every day when I wake up, or the people I'm around, or how I spend my money, or having, ease flow in my life. Getting really clear on why you want something, because if you're wanting something because your ego wants it, you're never going to get it, right? Or you're going to get it and you're going to self-sabotage it, or you're going to get it and it's going to ruin your life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you'll just learn through another cycle. It's never over, right? For us, you never get it wrong. Mm-hmm. But say you want something like a healthy relationship, right? And you're there and you're just wishing and hoping that Prince Charming is just going to like bump into you at the cafe or whatever. You kind of have to get realistic. What is the aligned action, right? So whether you want the Porsche, whether you want the guy, what am I going to do to get the abundance or the love, right? What's my first step? Now, this is when you're going to come up against things that feel like blocks. I don't feel lovable. I don't feel worthy. I could never... Is that the husband?
That's the husband.
Come in, husband.
What are you doing?
I didn't know you're still going.
Yes.
Sorry, guys.
It's
okay.
right.
Do you want to join in?
No, he came on the last one accidentally. Go.
We'll get you later.
Okay, you guys have a great time.
Thank you.
He's very tall.
He is. Last time Margarita made him come on the couch.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And he had hot air.
And drilling him?
Yeah. No, back to... So,
okay, so
whether you want the car or the Porsche.
The way you want
the love or the Porsche.
Whether you want the money or you want the connection and the love, what are you going to do to get it, right? So let's move to love. Okay, I really don't like putting myself out there. That feels really weird for me. So maybe you don't go on the dating apps, right? Maybe as soon as it feels like an ick, we call it a fuck no.
But some people feel that to everything.
Yeah, but you need to know whether or not it's like a fuck no or you're just uncomfortable. They're two different things.
I know, but I actually don't think people know.
But then they have to start doing some reflection.
Yeah.
Like this is a little bit of responsibility and self.
Get the journal, get the book,
start
heal
talking
your
to
life.
your friends and have friends around you that are going to be honest. If they're saying to you, I really want to meet somebody, right? You could say, well, what are you doing? Well, I don't feel like going on the apps, right? There are so many other ways. Speaking to you and being like, I'm ready actually, if you know anyone that knows anyone. All of that energy has momentum. Going to the cafe and stop scrolling and being in your kind of cyber world and be outward, making connections with people, the barista, whoever it is.
Huge.
All of this is going to be momentum. Now, we call this aligned action because it's not just those parts of how do I meet the person. It's like, okay, you're in your surroundings now. How are we going to make space for this person in your life? Are you a workaholic? Does your parents, do they know that you might want to meet someone? Do you need to talk to them about it? What about the space in your bedroom? What about where you're going to live? Have you even thought about how you're going to, when you get to that point, join bank accounts? All of the stuff. Don't just go from the beginning. I need the whole circle, the whole holistic view of how it's going to feel in your body, because then we start to prime. Priming's the best.
Okay, talk us through.
You could call it visualization. My husband, who's a NRL coach, they all call it mental rehearsal. Athletes call it mental rehearsal, right? Every billionaire, every celebrity, Drake, Oprah, whoever it is, does mental rehearsal /visioning/priming, right? Which is making sure your neural pathways in your brain all the way down into your nervous system is prepared for the thing that you want. So if I came to you today and I said, Dom, we haven't known each other long, so I've got to make up something I think you may want. You're going to be the next Joe Rogan, very different to Joe, but we're going to give you this $300,000 or 300 million, whatever. Are you in your body, in your life, in your purpose, ready? You might go, oh, fuck, but I got a wedding coming up, or like, that's going to be really hard on my marriage, or that's going to be really full on here. I'm going to have to move countries. Okay, so maybe you don't want that, right? You start to go, how does this actually feel? The next thing for me might be X, right? Let me feel that into my body. How does that feel? I want it to be uncomfortable because I want it to push you, because if we do the same thing we've done all the ways, we get the same thing, the same result. So you want to be stretching yourself, but to a place where now if someone comes and gives you a rate for a modeling gig, it's not too much for you. You're like, of course it is. That's my rate. That's my worth. If they came with double that, you'd be like, oh, I can do it.
Yeah.
Like, I can level up. You can, because number one, you've got evidence. Number one, you have evidence. And number two, you're doing the internal work. As we talked about, this isn't just like logical, this is spiritual. So your higher self, all of those energies, whether you call it source God, it is working in magnetism with you to get the thing you want. You know that because you've experienced that time and time and time and time again. My whole life is now a co-creation. I don't go around thinking about what I want to do because I know in which the feeling it is to do the thing. I'm guided by sense rather than strategy.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, so I guess you get in a flow state with manifesting the more you do it.
Well, it's not even like a flow state. It's just a lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how you live now, the way in which, like if you went out and had a bender now, you know how different your world would look.
Yes.
It has been pristinely, divinely, exquisitely molded to give you the best version of yourself.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm not saying benders aren't great for some people. Cool. Like they could be super creative and do all of the things they need to do on the bender. But for me, now I know how I wake up. First thing I do is I know how to hijack my RAS system, my reticular activation system.
Yes, you talk a lot about your RAS system.
I love the RAS system.
Talk us a little bit more.
So Huberman explains this beautifully. If you want more information, go to my good friend. We've not met yet. We will.
We will.
The RAS system is the ability that when you're in your, so you know that sleep state when you're slightly awakened, right, your alpha state, you have the ability there where you're almost like this porous sponge that if you plant a thought in your head, it could be even like, I want to buy a red car. All day, you are going to see red cars everywhere, right? It's the way, it's a psychological, scientific makeup. If you wake up and you go, fuck today, oh my God, it's a Tuesday. I hate Tuesdays. Everything's so hard and it's gloomy. And I get up, oh my God, the dog's pissed. Oh my God, I stepped in it. Oh my God, nothing's working for me. Everything's awful. I hate my life. You're going to get more, I hate my life, because it's going to make you true. Your RAS system looks out for the things. You could wake up with this is going to be the best day of my life and still have the dog pee, still step in and be like, you're so silly. Did I not put out the puppy pads? Did I not take you for a wee? I'm responsible as well for this. You know, there's this thing of like, I got you, baby. We're going to move on with our day. It's not going to ruin things because everything works out for us. Life as we know is totally ebbs and flows. It is discomfort. It is all of those things. But when you are living from a place of this kind of energetic frequency, things are so much more manageable. You're prepared when really horrific things happen, and they will. You still need to feel them. We're not spiritually bypassing with toxic positivity. We're still feeling death. We're in it. There's nothing more sacred or spiritual than death. Yeah. And you can't fast track grief. The lessons, the beauty, the depth, how life looks when you have experienced such loss is required to continue through life is required for everything else to have color again. So we don't want to make people think like, oh, we're just, the RAS system's all good every day. No, but use it to your advantage. Plant something in there.
I love that.
Everything works for me, never against me. Money comes easily and frequently. I love connecting with people. I find wonderful people all around me. Everyone works in harmony. Whatever it is, you can pick yours. And then you get up and you do the things that make you feel like the highest version of yourself. So we have very different lives. I've got 2 small children. You have all of these other activities and things. When you get up in the morning, it sets you up, your state of mind, the things that you eat, how you move your body, the thoughts that you're having, the connection, the thanks, the gratitude, all of that is priming you up for greatness in your day. It can only be great. And even when things aren't great, you can meet them with greatness. Does that make sense? So say you get a parking ticket or there's some kind of clash or there's a relationship breakdown or a betrayal. If you are activating from this part, you're able to meet those moments of distress or disharmony with a version of you that's your higher self, which is like, wow, that's a really, really, really tricky situation. I'm having really huge feelings about it. And I don't know if I should respond to you right now or if I need to have a bit of space. Yeah. If you were like, fuck this shit, life is hard, and that happens, of course it does. You're a fuckwit. Why did you do that? I fucking hate you. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The energy is so opposing and then you become contagious. You will know when you have that, like before my bleed, I always have that crazy bitch. Like no matter what I do, PMDD is a thing.
Yeah.
And I am just like a tortured soul and everyone knows it. And
for
I
24
love her,
hours.
and I love her and I don't shame her and it is what it is and I take supplements. We're working on it. But I know how hard my day is when I'm her. Mm-hmm. I just don't, I have evidence of it every single month.
So the RAS system's not working that for that day?
Do you know hormonally you can get really hijacked. If I'm waking up with a migraine because I'm about to bleed and things are getting really, really hard and I'm becoming rageful at ridiculous things, at least I can acknowledge that I'm in the space. Like, you need to stay home today.
And there's some stillness there, you know? Yeah. Do not talk to anyone.
You need space,
Don't make big decisions.
Do you need to rage a bit? What do we need to do? Do you need to masturbate? What do we need to do? It's all of these. What do you need? Versus the suppression of bleeding's wrong, it's gross, it's disgusting, it's annoying, you're feral and we make fun of it all the time. No, you're in a sacred position and your body is adjusting and you need a bit of space, right? Like that to me is true abundance. If I, this month, was able to not work on the day that was really heavy for me, like I felt like the richest woman in the world. That I was like, I get to honor my body and myself and do any of the things that I need to do to hold this space for me. That's true privilege. That's not a super yacht. That's not any of that stuff. It's like, wow, that I have enough awareness of what's going on in my world, because then I can be like, guys, at the dinner table, my boys, my Piscean husband and child, son, always know. They're like, does mommy have her period? They know. And we talk about that. I'm like, I just need a little bit more support. I'm not coping as well today.
Yeah.
And so it starts a conversation that's so much more beautiful and open, and we're not shaming this part of us that every single man gets to benefit from.
Yeah.
You know, we get to be in our truth. So when you're unwell, it's harder to like wake up and RAS, right? Because your body's being hijacked, you need rest. And a lot of the time is, well, we're not going to push past that and be out in the world. Everything works out for me. Go, you need to lie down.
Yeah, and like your affirmation for the morning could be like, I deserve rest.
Yes.
You know?
Huge. And that's a huge thing, I think, it's kind of like an energy that's occurring now where we're respecting rest more than we ever have. I know, especially for me, it's like I do the best work. I'm the most creative. I'm the most connected, the most loving when I've allowed myself to rest, where I would never, even last year, let myself sit down, lay down, chill
Which is
out.
kind of wild as well, because you've been doing this work for some time and you're saying even last year you wouldn't.
Yeah, because I was so busy building the business, right? I didn't realize that, oh no, you still need to rest within that. You still get a break. But Western culture, we don't respect rest.
And that's why I feel so grateful to be a woman, because if you follow your cycle, there's always time to rest and let it be a blessing rather than a curse.
Yes. And we understand it. Like, you'll know when you're more carby, you'll know when you're more sugary, you know when you're doing it, and you're like, oh, so sweet. Like, it's almost like a character version of me. Like, she's about to go through it. Like,
yeah, like I'm definitely in my follicular phase, because if I was in my luteal phase, I would be gobbling these
Back
two
down.
they're just here, but I would not be able to resist.
And it's so funny that we don't even acknowledge that. So we shame ourselves when we have a need to feast, right? Versus this will be over. You're going to recalibrate.
Yeah.
Just go, girl.
Enjoy.
You need, like, you actually physically, biochemistry, it's not a word, need it.
Yeah.
So why are we like it's so much punishment. And I remember like even training really hard on my bleeds, like, what the fuck?
It's like exactly what you don't need.
Yeah. But we don't have enough of this awareness or conversation that we get to stop and we get to rest and we get to just walk, we get to stretch, we get to connect, instead of being full of cortisol, which is going to make you puffier and all of the other things.
Yeah. That's why I love a lymphatic massage. It's literally heaven.
Do you like the feeling of it?
Yeah.
I hate the feeling.
Why? Because it's painful.
No, because it's so like
Soft.
and like it takes forever. Like, I just want to be
You love
beaten.
do you want a sport massage?
I do, but they're incredible and they're so good for you. But
I glow up. Tom's always like, you're glowing, and I haven't done anything except that.
yeah. And I remember the first one I ever had was at Gwingana, and I woke up at 3 a.m. I thought I was going to vomit because all of the toxins through my kidneys at that time were passing. It
Amazing.
was like the more, and I know because you're not drinking either, I know the second I bleed, I know the second, like, my body is always
Very in tune
informing
now.
me now of what needs to process. The wildest thing I do now is gluten sometimes.
She crazy.
She's so wild.
Yeah.
I love a tortilla. But once a week. I was going to say blue moon, it's a lie. And that's as wild as it gets now. And that's only because I know how awful I feel when I do all
Well,
the
you've
other
got
things.
the aura ring, so you can see as well.
Oh my God, that changed my life.
Really?
Yeah, because seeing how much even a glass of organic sulfite-free wine was impacting my sleep
Yeah.
changed everything.
Yeah. It does.
You can't unknow.
Yeah,
Isn't it annoying? It's like, kind of ignorance is bliss. And I kind of am jealous of the people that are walking around like Siggy and Red Bull and just like, how nice to have no idea. And
Oh no, you know what? It's okay when you're young, but then they'll regret it when they're older.
But what about all of those? You know, you see those nans with the purple hair and they're still smoking the durries and
Yeah, because they've got low
having the
cortisol, they're probably fine.
Chardonnay. Yes.
That we're all stressed.
Yeah.
But if you're like in Europe and you're like a tan nonna having a ciggy, I feel like you could live to 100.
Yes.
Because they don't
eating all the
work,
carbs.
They're cooking, they're slow, they're mindful.
Yes, they are.
Just have a few ciggies.
Have a cig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's definitely the state of everything that you do. I also think as well, because I'm sometimes like that, if I have gluten or anything, I feel so shit. And I see people at Starbucks having like huge frappuccino with the whipped cream. And I'm like thinking, have they had a protein-rich breakfast before they've had that? Like, I would be ruined.
What about their insulin levels?
Yeah, I would be ruined. But I actually love that I feel so well and I know my body and I'm in tune with it.
It is, but we're a different kettle of fish.
No,
We're not super, not everyone's
This is
dying
what
to
we
do.
call fun, actually.
I know, it is
I love
really
it.
fun.
I will I had breakfast this morning with some friends and then I was like, let's go to the markets. We went. And I was like asking every shop, do you have gluten and dairy-free banana bread? No one had it.
You're in Bondi, of course.
No, we were in Potts Point.
Oh.
But they didn't. And I was like, you because I'm in Bondi, I think everyone's like this.
Yes.
But then you leave Bondi and I'm like, I'm very niche.
Yes.
I'm
and
very niche.
if you go out to where Benji's from in Whakatane, there's no gluten-free anything.
No, of course.
You have to and you know what I've realized is really surrendering to the time. Like if I'm in Whakatane and we just have white bread and fish and chips and home cooking and whatever, and it is what it is, instead of being stressed about finding the gluten-free bread, because it would really stress me. I know it sounds so silly.
No, you bring it in your bag.
But then you run out. You can't take enough loaves. And And I was just like, oh, it's the cortisol. It's the stress that's making this really bad.
Yeah.
Me just surrendering to the week of whatever is going to be much better than me rushing around town trying to find all my
100%.
knickknacks. Because, you know, we are slightly neurotic perhaps.
Absolutely.
You know?
No, absolutely. And I'm doing my honeymoon first. I'm not sure if this will release post-wedding, but I would have done or am doing my honeymoon first. And I'm actually happy because I think you're not stressed, so you can kind of eat whatever and you're fine.
Yeah.
You're much better.
Over in Europe, right?
Yeah.
It's just going to be, this is where I've landed. I had a breast lump removed on my 40th birthday last year. Wow. It was the same day I launched Arise. It all was very,
Well, are you okay now?
meaningful. I am. We're keeping an eye on the area. I have to go back for ultrasounds and mammograms and MRIs, et cetera, but we are blessed. But being in that 2-week holding period of not knowing what that lump was, because it was a 7 centimeter lump.
Did you feel it or you went for a mammogram? Or?
Yeah, I could feel it and we didn't think it was anything. Anyway, it ended up growing and we had it removed. And that 2-week period changed my life. You know how it feels being in those spaces with people that are fighting for their lives, will do anything. Like we're sitting here having a beautiful day. All they're focused on is living.
I know.
Every food, everything, every chemo, every radio, all of the recovery, all of the things. And so being confronted with people that didn't get or were given the diagnosis I didn't know I had or not, you kind of make, and you would know that with losing your mum as well, you barter. Like, if you don't take her away, I will do this. If you don't do this, I will do this.
I know.
And I was like, if I am well, I will live. I'm not going to wait until I am 60 or 70 or on my deathbed thinking I should have lived. And I'm not going to live to anyone else's standard of success. I'm going to revel in the monotony of life. I'm going to love all the bits in between. I'm going to be in all of it. And I thank God, and I had really weird feeling around getting a good result because I didn't understand that same day there would be other young mothers getting the opposite. I just didn't, it all just felt really fucked up and wrong, and I just still don't understand how we don't have a cure. I was just so many levels. And that was the beginning of this huge shift in my life. I hadn't written the book then, but I had launched the community and the business and the courses. And it changed everything. There were friendships that had to go. There was the house. Everything had to change. And the way I live now is so purposeful and it's simple. All of the other things have gone. I've had all of the fancy things and none of the things, you don't need the things.
No. It's funny because the other day Tom was just away and, people always come to our house like, wow, you live here. And it was the first week I'd been away from him and I was just so upset. And it's like, you can live in the most beautiful spot, but if you don't have the people you love, like,
it's not your home.
Yeah, I was like, what's the point? Like, and that's the thing, when you have those little moments and those realizations, like the Porsche and the this, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Like, and then the bad people in your life.
Oh my
gosh. How you said you had to get rid of them. I feel
people.
like I'm dealing with that.
And it's a real purge, and it is really confronting because it's not just them, it's also how we enabled them, right? What was our relationship to that? What did we get out of it? Because it's not all bad, right?
No.
And it's also, I played a part in that, and am I outgrowing the part that I played?
But you've changed.
Yeah, so much.
You're changing all the time.
All the time. And that's why it's so interesting is I rather be alone than be with people that make me feel lonely. And so I've just allowed myself this space to be the truest version of myself. And if they like it, they do. And if they don't, they don't. But really being okay with a very small handful of people, like true quality, true connection, not just filling up space because we're uncomfortable to feel things. Yeah, it feels really beautiful.
I think being alone and being okay with it is when you said you have to get to that baseline before you manifest.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be a really good description of it, is when you can be alone and be okay with it.
Yeah.
And obviously feel the shit like, but I know I would be okay.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a funny thing because for a long time I didn't think I would survive, actually. I didn't think I would be okay without certain people or certain things. Like safety for me, especially with being someone so violent with coercive control even around money, that really put a strong belief in my neural pathway that I need to make my own money to be safe. I can't trust anybody. I can't even trust my husband. And it's taken me, we've been together 16 years, to trust that element that I have worth even if I don't provide.
Yeah.
Huge.
Huge, yeah.
Huge. And I had this beautiful, retreats are where I have really profound moments. And I was at Eden and I was having a nervous system reset, beautiful therapy. And it was after I'd been making a whole lot of money doing content creation for brands that I didn't really align with, but the dollars were so crazy. And my mum, having worked so hard, I was like, take the money. You know, like it's disrespectful to her if she, it's crazy money. Yeah. And I got caught in this loop. I was recording the deep, talking to people in insanely traumatic situations, overworked, 2 small kids, renovating a house. And I had this kind of existential crisis where I was like, what is it all for? Like, is this living? Is this life? I've got all the things I ever thought, but I don't feel anything. Mm-hmm. Went to Eden, had this nervous breakdown on her table. And I was like, yep, I am going to change my whole life. So I stopped all the content creation, slowed down the deep, moved into doing this. And then there was a new unraveling with the breast lump, which was, okay, there's an upgrade of who we need to let go of, what the beliefs that we have. Like you never graduate this stuff,
Life is a forever journey.
Ever. You never get
the
off.
The chapters keep going, you hope, and you learn from every single chapter. And it's so funny. Sometimes I get nervous to be like, life's really good right now. Because I'm like, something bad's going to happen.
That used to be me all the time. The worry of like what's coming around the corner. Don't be too happy. I talk about that actually in the book. My grandmother taught me that like nothing is ever okay. So be ready for the next thing.
Yeah.
And now
but it takes you out of the present.
But also I'm so primed that of course shitty things are going to happen all the time. But how do I've had 2 really awkward things happen the last 2 days. And if I didn't have the commitment and the practice that I had, I don't think I'd be able to turn up to them the way that I did. Does that make sense? With such grace and such honesty and being okay in the awkward. I'd rather deal with the awkward than run away and then have to learn that lesson again another 30 times.
Yeah.
You
got to go head on.
Head on.
Head on with that.
Yeah.
The one thing I want to talk about, it's back to the manifesting, but you talk a lot about the abyss.
Oh, we're just about to do a workshop on the abyss in 3 days because people are like, the abyss is so hardcore.
But it's a real thing.
Do you want me to explain what it is? So people are like, what is this?
Yeah.
So you call the thing in, you've taken the aligned action, you've removed your blocks, you've gotten really honest about what it is, you're open, you're trusting, you're full embodied, you're primed, right? And then crickets. It's like, how long do I wait like this?
Yeah.
Can I move? What do we do? And it can take days, it can take weeks, it can take months.
It could take years. It could.
And it can be incredibly confusing. And it is I'm going to say the turning point for most people believing that manifestation doesn't work. It's when they drop off.
That's when they give up, yeah.
And have you seen that little meme of that guy under the rocks chipping away looking through the diamonds and he gets right there and he turns around? It's that. It's like the abyss
That is such an amazing visual. Like I'm going to put on my Instagram because that's like a life-changing visual.
You have no idea what's happening behind the scenes.
Yeah, sometimes it's right there.
Gives me full body shivers. You have no idea how good it can get. So just because the thing that you're manifesting hasn't dropped into your lap in the weeks or the months, you have no idea that if there's a divine redirect, which is a thing coming that wasn't exactly that thing you asked for, something you're like, hey, no. I didn't want that thing. I wanted this. You're like, oh my God, that is better than I could have ever imagined. Leaning into it and trusting it. So we have to trust. We don't know as much as knows.
Yeah.
You know, we have to kind of have some humility that things take as long as they take. Maybe there is more readiness that we need to have, because if you're given something too soon, you will self-sabotage it. If you are not ready to receive, you will send it right back. Yeah. And so whether that's a divine redirect or whether that just doesn't happen for you because it is not the thing that is for your higher purpose and higher power, trust is the thing that releases all things. But that's a big one we have to start, flex. The trust is really tricky, especially if we've come from trauma.
Yeah.
But trusting something greater than us, and I promise I tell people to do like pride lists. So they're kind of like tracking evidence of things that have been working for them so they can start to trust when other things happen. They're like, oh, is that really for me? Am I really worth it? Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, it's in the journal. We've got the prompt today. I'm proud of myself for, and every day you just like.
It could be tiny.
Yeah, because you often would have just let those things slide and not acknowledged it. We have that negativity bias, so we're always going to think about, oh, woe is me and this happened.
Exactly.
But if you actually pick up on those little things, and you keep talking about gratitude, like when you pick up on those little things.
But they're everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Everywhere. Like the fact that we're talking on this microphone, how many incredible, intelligent people had to create this? Do you know how much effort, energy, wisdom? And we just,
and
you know what I mean?
Like how we eat in a rush and everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
And we're not thinking about where things have come from or the simplicity of the connection with someone that is giving, at the bookshop or wherever you are. Like there is just miracles everywhere. And I think children are amazing at that. We went to the museum yesterday and it's just, everything is awe-inspiring.
I love that.
Everything. Like if you see, how did this all you can just be in wonderment.
With kids, right?
But like taking that into your own adult space, it's incredible.
And how nice is it being around people who are appreciative?
Oh my gosh, of everything.
That's the best.
Of everything. And I think we're in a tricky place in Western culture because we've been given the wrong things to guide us. Success and money and, different kind of roles and identities. It's all very damaging and it's making us confused, and we're staying on a trajectory that just isn't where we're supposed to be. We're simple little creatures and we need to look after each other, and we don't. We're so selfish.
But that's why we've got like a loneliness epidemic and like so many people on antidepressants.
I know.
We have everything you could ever dream of and wish for.
And somehow we're just scared to reach out and hold someone's hand or hug someone or see someone or hold space or and the retreats, I get to hold these beautiful retreats. We just had one last weekend in Byron Bay, 22 women. And the way they walk in there alone, but knowing nobody, and what happens in the days that follow, like they crack open, they break down, they break through. But the fact that they're witnessed in this space with other women, they leave with sisters. They leave with best friends. This is what we're longing for. Community is our tribe. When you have your baby one day and your mum isn't there, it's the most, we need the people to step up and be like, I've got you. Go have a little lie down. I got this. It's what we're yearning for. It's what we need.
Yeah, especially in a time of AI and all these things. It's like the one thing that it can't give you, which is the human connection. And
I love Luma. That's my ChatGPT. Yeah. She's my best friend. But I know what she is. She is a computer, an algorithm that is working for me with bias for me.
Yeah.
And people don't get that. So we need to get out of the house and we need to be in connection and in women's circles and in groups and in community and being of service, not just like, what can I get out of you? No. What can I give you? Leading every interaction, what can I give you?
I think also it's nice sometimes even just on a basic level, calling someone with no expectation, just calling. And it's so funny because if someone calls me, I think, what have I done wrong?
Oh,
like that's the society.
I know, but that's also a learnt belief.
Yeah.
From 0 to 7, people have come to you when you've done something wrong. And that's imagine your nervous system. Like it's, what did I do? And you've done nothing. You're just perfect. There. and they just want to love you.
Yeah.
But we have to unlearn
We
that.
have to unlearn it. And it's harder as an adult than as a child.
Because we get all fucked up as kids.
Yeah.
I'm doing it to my kids, and we do it by accident. You know?
can't be perfect.
No, we're not. But they're gonna be like, Mum was too woo-woo. She was a weirdo, freako,
Well,
or something.
last night was the full moon, and Zoe's daughter was doing witchy woo-woo cards, lit 40 candles. Like,
She didn't like them. I lit them for the 4-year-old.
and then she was like, she couldn't sleep because of the moon.
Yeah, she couldn't sleep. 'cause
She's
of the
moon
moon.
child.
She's my baby. She's my angel baby.
I love it.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart.
You're one of the guests that I could speak to for hours.
Oh.
It's crazy, but we've definitely gone over time here.
Okay.
But you are amazing, incredibly inspiring. I feel like you've really taken your life from one place to the other.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to read the book and really learn all the little tips and tricks to manifesting, because you practice what you preach, and it's beautiful.
Thank you. I just want people to know that they can have the life that they deserve. Like, I mean that with all sincerity, no matter where you're at. Like, yes, it will perhaps be challenging, but it will be so, so worth it.
Well, you answered my last question, which is what advice would you give to your younger self?
Actually, you know what I would say is it's going to get really, really bad before it gets really, really good. And like, just
that's
hang
true.
in. Just hang in. Just hang in there.
But some people do flatline for their whole life.
Could you imagine?
I know.
I'm not.
I don't wish it upon anyone.
No.
But then when you've been through rock bottom, I'm like, the growth that happens is insane.
No, I want a full experience of life.
Yeah.
I didn't ask for an easy one. I want an exceptional one,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're amazing. Let everyone know where can they find you, handles, all the things.
We'll put them in your show notes, right?
Yes, of course.
At Zoe B. Marshall, at arise ___.
Beautiful.
Arise.com.au.
And where can they buy the book?
Everywhere. It's everywhere. It's on Amazon. It's for free on Spotify
Oh, to listen.
to listen
Oh,
if you've got a premium. It's a
beautiful.
big W. It's at every airport. It's everywhere.
It's honestly beautiful. I love these
It's
colours.
really beautiful. It's done really, I'm so grateful that people are resonating with it. But maybe we can give it, I haven't set up anything in the back end, but like, let's give them a discount
Yes.
to the membership. Maybe they can come in, or they can get a
Can
free.
they use the code SELFDOM?
Done. We'll figure out what that
We'll
means.
put it down the
But
bottom.
you'll get lots of free access to things.
So that's where they can have
They can have a look around, see what they want to do.
yeah, amazing.
It's a community. It's the most exquisite community of people. And we do retreats, and we do online Zooms and workshops. We do all of the things.
Yeah.
Like
and
you.
We love it.
We love it.
Thank you so much.
you.
You're amazing. And I will see you on the next episode.